The next time you find yourself debating what's the scariest horror movie, you'll potentially be able to have science to support your claim. That's thanks to the hard work of the folks at the UK's Broadband Choices, who took time to use the scientific method to determine the scariest movie of all time. Their Science of Scare project exposed a group of viewers to some of horror's most iconic films, while researchers examined how much each movie raised their individual heart rates as proof of its power to terrify. As reported by several outlets in 2020, Scott Derrickson's profoundly disturbing 2012 creeper Sinister was the first horror flick to be crowned scariest of all time. The study was such a resounding success, Broadband Choices decided to run it again in 2021, adding a handful of recent releases to their screening list. Sure enough, one of those new films has dethroned Sinister as science's all-time scariest, and the film that took the crown will likely surprise you. For reference, the lists of selected films fronted such iconic titles as A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Exorcist, alongside modern classics like The Descent, The Babadook, and It Chapter 1. Those frightful films are all currently looking up at the 2020 Shudder original, Host, which science has officially dubbed the scariest movie ever made. We're guessing some of you, maybe even most of you, haven't seen or haven't even heard of Host. Should that be the case, you need to seek it out ASAP. It's an extraordinarily creepy little film that gets under your skin in ways few horror flicks do. Written and directed by Rob Savage, Host clocks in at a brisk 56 minutes in length, and was shot entirely during COVID-19 lockdown utilizing Zoom video conferencing software. In that format, Host finds a small group of friends attempting to stay in touch during isolation with weekly calls, during which one of them hires a medium to conduct an online seance. No spoilers, but we'll just say things quickly get creepy for the group, and that Host is a supremely clever, legitimately terrifying piece of work, well worthy of that top spot. As for the other films on the list, Sinister, Insidious, The Conjuring, and Hereditary round out the top 5 in that order, with the likes of It Follows, A Quiet Place Part 2, and Paranormal Activity all placing in the top 10.
Now you're the one who's afraid.
Despite the fact that science has crowned the winner for the scariest movie of all time, there will always be others convinced their point of view is the right one. It's true, there are plenty of other lists that insist other movies deserve to dethrone Host, and of course, creative folks will come up with even scarier stuff in the future. IMDb users have ranked the scariest film of all time as 1973 classic The Exorcist. Roughly 388,000 users have rated the movie, and it has earned 8.1 out of 10 stars on the site. That kind of rating doesn't come by every day, and even though the movie is several decades old, it still finds a way to crawl under people's skin. The Exorcist also tops the ranks on Rotten Tomatoes, where the site writes about the flick. Outside of its critical and commercial bona fides, the film is well known for the mass hysteria it inspired across the country, from protests over its controversial subject matter to widespread reports of nausea and fainting in the audience. That's not the only opinion floating around online. The Guardian lists another 1973 horror movie, Don't Look Now, as the all-time scariest. Meanwhile, MovieWeb bestows the honor to the Blair Witch Project, in large part for reigniting the interest in the found footage subgenre. While Host has science behind it, it always seems like a matter of opinion when it comes to movie rankings online. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.